Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm your host, Kimbo, podcast where we uncover the stories behind the creativity. Get ready to be inspired. So sit back and grab a slice of life.
On a Slice of Life podcast with Kimbo. Yeah.
What is up, guys? We are back with season 2 of Kimbo Slice of Life. Happy New Year. Hope you guys have been enjoying your New Year so far. We are here with creator Jules, businesswoman, entrepreneur. Jules is a creator or how to be social. So tell us, what is how to be social?
Hi, first of all, thanks for having me on, everybody. How to be social? What is how to be social? How to be social is an artist collective, and we help artists start and run their businesses. We have been operating for the last 7 years.
So when you say artist, who exactly are you pertaining to?
Well, when it comes down to it, I would love to help every single kind of artist, but I genuinely only do what I know. Things that I've been very successful in is content creation, photo, video, and music. As I continue to grow and develop in my career and expand my skill set, I will also expand our portfolio of artists.
Oh, okay, so who can attend these events? Like,
Dang, I feel like that's like a
is it like, is it anyone, like any kind of creative, or is it?
Yeah. We like to say from artist to entrepreneur. We believe in the spectrum of
Mhm.
people. I genuinely think that even if you're not an artist or an entrepreneur, you can come to this event and learn something. I don't exclude anybody. I make sure that everybody feels welcome.
Mhm.
Because I think at the end of the day, it's not about, are you an artist or are you an entrepreneur? And if you're not one or the other, you can't come. It's more of we care about people and we want people to know that they're loved. And if you want to be a part of our community, we have space for you.
So how often are these events?
For the last 4 months, we've been doing them regularly, the last Sunday of every month. Starting in January, we're going to be doing 3 different key events every single month.
Oh, wow. So what does it take to like curate these events? Is it is it like, I know even like throwing a birthday party, I'm like, this is too hard. Like,
Throwing a birthday party for like everyone. I'm not gonna lie, being a curator and a leader of a community is, I could cry. It's like one of my greatest joys and my greatest challenges in life. Because people are so different. We come from so many different backgrounds, and then if somebody doesn't like what I do, then I'm immediately the target of, I'm just the target. And it's like, I do my best to listen and hear and to be observant and aware. And I'm still not perfect. So when you say what it takes to throw these events, it's being in the scene, it's caring about people, it's showing up for people, it's asking questions, it's getting feedback and getting better every single time.
what inspired you to create the How to Be Social? Because you said it's been around for 7 years. You are a creative yourself. Like, what made you be like, okay, I want to do this for the people?
Great question. I don't get started for the people, weirdly enough. It wasn't for the people. It was for my mom. My mom, when I was a kid, taught me how to be social. I was actually very introverted and shy. I told you earlier I actually had dyslexia. I would read words backwards. It was really hard for me to speak. My dad actually has a lot of mental illnesses, from bipolar to having to relearn all of his cognitive abilities after a really bad motorcycle accident. And I am genetically disposed to, predisposition is the correct word, excuse me. So, anyways, predisposition.
We get it.
Thanks. To a lot of those things and a lot of mental illnesses. And I think that just really caused me to not want to speak. It caused me to not want to be heard. And my mom, she's so precious. I love her. Good old Christian Texan woman would push me out in front of people and say, for God's not giving me a spirit of fear, but of love and of peace and a sound mind. And when I got into college, I actually got a DUI, and this is like a weird jump, but just stay with me here. I got a DUI. I was driving back from Dallas. I was bartending in Dallas at the time, back to Commerce, Texas, which is where I was going to college at the time. And I was falling asleep at the wheel. And I basically got pulled over by a state trooper. He did not have any grace for me and, gave me a DUI. I'm very lucky it is expunged off my record. I was in a pretrial intervention program. I've done my time to society and I am reformed. Anyways, but with that being said, after that experience, there was a lot of shame and guilt that came with that. And looking back, hindsight is 2020. From that despair is what came How to Be Social. I genuinely think I wanted to shut down and go back to that introverted, not talking to anybody self.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that wasn't the way. And so I pushed past that. I made this blog called How to Be Social because an influencer told me on a podcast that if you wanted to start, you needed to start with what your friends told you were good at. I wasn't a fashionista. I wasn't a foodie. I wasn't really doing anything that was like the niche at the time. I wasn't an expert in any of those things. The only thing I felt qualified to do was teach people how to be social because my mom taught me how to do it. And I was pretty good at that. And so that's where it came from, and that's the tipping point of how it became to where it is today.
So that's how you thought of the name as well?
I was like, I'm only good at one thing. It's how to be social.
That's so cool. And so this was 7 years ago where you thought of the How to Be Social. So it started off as a blog.
Started off as a small blog. I think one of the very first posts was like, "Are you lonely? Maybe it's time for a pet."
People always ask me that. Do you have a pet? I said, no. Like, why does everybody ask me that? But I understand that because it's like,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of research and study, scientific things that go into that, but at the base of it, it's just, I think as communities, we're meant to be close and we're supposed to be together. I mean, that's what we were born into. But, I mean, not to get super far into this, but I will say this. There's been a time in my life where I've done a lot of studies on what being social really means. And the people that have the longest indicators of life are Italians, Hispanic families, because they have this, hey, you can stay in the family home for as long as you need. They don't push people out like do a lot in America. Like it's a very cultural thing. And they're really happy. They spend time with people that understand and know them best, like genetically. And it's just really interesting to me that is what an indicator of long life is. And so How to Be Social, I want people to feel like we're your family. Like we might not always get along, might not always like you, but I will always love you.
So how does each like event differ from each other?
Great question. Up until this point, we've just kind of done a conglomerate of all kinds of creative in one event. Now we're splitting it up into 3 distinct events. So the one that if you have a question on, I won't do that. So I would say it's music, speakers and leaders, and then we have one for content creators. Those are the 3 events.
So each one of those dives into that topic, the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, music, content creation, I would say leadership, educational.
So do you have like guest speakers, panelists, and they just share their story?
Yeah, so the Creator Social, which is the one that's more about speaking and entrepreneurship and leadership, we have a panel, and I always like put women on because, I try to be progressive. But we always say women and a few good men. So I will put men on the panel, of course, but I want to make sure that their heart is in the right place. Women have a tendency to cross promote and share. I feel like just that is how we were raised and how we are as women. Whereas men are the hunters. We're like, that's mine,
Right.
And I really, in our community, want to foster a sense of sharing and caring.
Okay. So have you run into any challenges? Like when it comes to
Just that.
just trying, like how do you promote these events so it could target different people? So, because they're so often, it's like, how do you get different people to come?
Sure. So I think first and foremost, it's about understanding the communities that you want to be part of. I think if you're trying to throw a skater event and you're not a skater and you just think skating is cool and you throw an event for skater people, like you're most likely not going to get skater people show up to your event. The reason how to do social ended up becoming about artists and entrepreneurs was because I was an artist and entrepreneur, and I was working at D Magazine at the time. They were doing events, and I was like, and I was there because I was a writer, and so I was writing under Dallas Innovates, and who was a part of D Magazine, and I was volunteering my time to help D Magazine run their events. And so finally, I got to a point where I was like, well, I learned digital marketing first. That's a
Mm-hmm.
different caveat. But I finally got to a point where I was like, it's pretty hypocritical if this never comes offline. And at that point in my journey, I was going to a lot of content creator meetups where we would do these photo video meetups, we had models, content creators, and we would just cross pollinate and like create and tag each other in photos. And like when Instagram was like a really, well, not that Instagram, not really a big deal now, but like it was up and coming.
Yeah.
It was really
Mm.
cool. That sounds so lame. That makes me sound so freaking cool. Anyways,
It's okay, me too.
uh, anywho, so that's when that was coming out and coming up. To get back to the question, that is what made my first event Succeed at Any Age really successful because I wanted to bring people from all walks of life
Mm-hmm.
into what I was doing. And it just, that time I was hanging out with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of artists. And that's just what I've always focused on because that's what I'm most passionate about.
That's awesome. Can you share any valuable advice for aspiring entrepreneurs or creatives?
I'm gonna say this because I think it's
I feel like,
this lesson and a lesson that I continue to learn. People are not gonna like you. People are going to take what you say personally and try to apply it to your business. People are going to think that you can do things better. They're going to think that they can do it better than you. And to those people, I say, I encourage you to start your own business. I encourage you to go out there and start your own group, your own organization, your own thing. And I will 100% always love you and support you through that.
why do you say like, I know, well, half the time I don't, if like someone don't like me, I don't know if you don't like me because no one says anything to me.
Yeah.
But how do you know like
People don't like me.
that sentence in the way? Yes. How do you know that? Like, has someone, I mean, you've been doing this for like 7 years. Have you gotten like negative feedback?
Uh, yeah. I would say I have been in the position where I've lost people because they've just ghosted me and not said anything, and then I've been in the position where I've lost people because I didn't know the art of conversation and that I was crossing into an argument and not having a conversation with someone and taking feedback.
Mhm.
And I think that's the only way that I really find out if somebody doesn't like me or what I'm doing. Because if they're ghosting me and they're not talking to me, there's obviously something, you know? And to those people, I realized those aren't really my friends. Those are people that, you know, they liked what I was doing at one point, but they didn't care about me. And there's a big difference between like and care. Liking someone is to enjoy being around that person. Caring someone is taking on somebody's needs as your own and them doing the same for you.
Mhm.
And I think when you have that distinction, it's a lot easier to do your business and it's a lot easier to live life because then you realize, man, these people really care for me and that person might like me and maybe I cared for them. I care for a lot of people and so it hurts when I find out somebody just likes me and doesn't care about me. Uh, but it's one of those things where there's a greater community to be taken care of. There are people that do like what I do. There are people that do love me and care for me. And those are the people that I continue to reinvest in.
So how does you like knowing that, how does that make you want to strive like more? Like go at it more? Like does that motivate you?
That's a great question. I think there's two main motivations that I have practiced in my life.
Mm-hmm.
One is over revenge, which I don't think is a great place to do anything from because it's filled and fueled by fear and hate. Uh, and then there's love. And I'm getting emotional because this is like a really big deal for me because at the heart of everything we do at Happy Social, it's always about love. Um, I don't care if somebody doesn't like. I said this earlier. I might not like you, but I will always love you. And I think at the end of the day, remembering that even when things don't go my way or when somebody, is actively campaigning against me or my community, all I can do is say, I love you and I want the best for you. I genuinely do. So, and that fuels me to keep going because I know that somewhere in the future, it may not be them, but there's going to be somebody just like them that I'm going to become better for.
Hmm. Almost like in a relationship stance as well. Like you can take that and put it in like you're like a relationship like with a significant other.
Trust me, if you want to
I know, right? For real. For real. She's hungry.
hungry.
Oh, what is your favorite pizza?
I like chicken Alfredo with a little bit of spinach.
Where do you get that from?
There's this place that's over like near Deep Ellum, but I cannot remember the name of it right now.
Oh,
that's
chicken Alfredo. Interesting. People have said some interesting toppings.
Yeah, that's Hawaiian people. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. At the end of the day, I'll always try everything, but I just know what I like best.
Yeah, I'm boring. I mean, I like pepperoni, but even though that's like cheese. I wasn't sure. I was like, did she eat me? I should have asked, but
it's okay. I actually, fun fact, had to start a brand new diet, which is basically like no sugar, no wheat, no anything, and I'm slowly working up to it. So this is a surprise.
Surprise! It's cheese. Also, guys, Jules knows how to sing. Jules
just now was like lay something down.
Yeah, that she read my face. A lot of people.
Okay, I'll always go to this. This is my go-to.
Okay, this is our go-to. You all ready?
It's my Frank Sinatra. She doesn't. You don't even know the tempo and you're snapping.
I got.
I can freestyle. I'll make you a little song.
Okay, let's go. Ready? 2 and a 3.
And a 4. Hi. I'm on the Slice of Life podcast with Kimbo. Yeah.
Love it. Hey, that's good. That's gonna be my intro. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jules, for coming on and sharing your story. Probably nothing for positive vibes for you. Keep going no matter what. I know sometimes. I know sometimes, it's hard, especially, being a creative but I know everyone can push through and we can get there and yeah. All right, guys. You can find Jules on Creator Jules Instagram. She can sing, so she's also on Spotify, right? Yeah. Apple Music. Yeah. YouTube fam, don't forget to subscribe. Please help me out. We're in season 2 now, so I should have more subscribers.
As part of my audience, I had a social Creator Jules, working at a Jules Park. Please go follow this woman. She is a joy to be around. And obviously, this was a fun podcast.
Yeah, so you guys can tap in and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we will see you guys in 2.